Welcome back to the Artefactors Union, and I am your host and foreman, Douglas Scoundrels, and today we are assembling the Dirty Works box for the Explorer Society faction, including DUA and Syndicate. Yes, I know it's DUA, it's just a lot easier to say DUA, and Syndicate keywords. This is going to be really fast and easy, hooray. Only 3 models. One Corvis Rook, or Raven, if you know other languages, and 2 operatives, the ladies flanking him. Here are our renders. It's just people. Let's look at the sprues. I think they could have used a thinner box for this one. This is it. Here is Corvis Rook, and our 2 operatives, 5 bits and 6 bits each. Let's start with our named character, Corvis first. Grand total of 5 bits. Take the body. We'll add the left leg, then the right leg, then the right arm, and then the head. Alright, so F1, F3, F5, F2, and F4. F1. Now we add F2, the left leg. Or F3, the left leg. There we go. Really easy to insert. Now F5, the right leg. Also went in easy. Let's do F2, the right arm, which will fit in the socket there, as well as connect to his chest right there. Oh, no, never mind. The entire arm connects to the chest. There's, like, no gap in there, so even easier. Let's jam the head on there, F4. That's it. All done. Super easy. Base him. Corvis Rook is done. No difficulty whatsoever. I guess the legs. The legs going in is the hardest part, but that's not even hard. So simple. Let's move on. Here are our 2 infiltrators, evenly split down the middle of the sprue. So we'll start with this one, which is marked 1, of course. Operatives. Sorry. One of them is actually the artwork for the Infiltrator Pursuits in Through the Breach, so I keep accidentally referring to them as infiltrators, my bad. So I'm going to grab the torso, like we always do, except for the few times we don't. Then we'll slap the legs on. Finish up the coat, perhaps. Double check and make sure that's not going to get in the way of anything, but I'm sure it can go on fine after the legs. And then we will go ahead and do the, I think this is the left arm, right arm, and then the head. Alright? So, D4, D1, D3, D2, D6, D5, and D3. Okay? Here's D4. Now add D1 the legs. Add another easy connection. Now D2 is going to go right along here and sort of cover up this hip a little bit. And that's what it looks like attached. So now let's move on to D6, the left arm, which goes in this shoulder socket. Okay, I also did notice, / mention, that the hand is connected to the coat here. There's a notch underneath the hand where it will connect. Pretty obvious if you look at it without the bit there. Now let's do D5, the right arm. And I caught this one before I glued it on. There's just the tiniest little notch here, not in the belly button, but like right along there. That will be where the end of the blade goes. So 2 connection points. Yeah, another pretty some connection. Now let's do D3, the head. That's all done. Baser. Operative number 1 is done. We're going to call her Annie. And pretty easy builds. I think the hardest part is maybe the right arm. The arms, we'll say the arms, just because they have 2 connection points that you have to line up correctly. But other than that, super simple build. Since we're 2 for 3, let's get on to our last operative. Our last operative, very much like the last one. Take the body, then we'll do the right leg, left leg, right arm, left arm, and then the head. Start with E1, now add E4, the right leg. Like a little bit of fiddling to get that in there flush, but that's what we're looking for. Now let's move on to E3, the left leg. And there we've got our other leg. Now let's do our right arm, which is E5, the one that is not holding anything. There it is, with the angle almost touching the coat, but don't think so. Now let's do E5, our left arm holding the gun, and finish up with E2, the head. Okay, tore it off to show you the connection points again. Kind of hard to see because I had already glued it, but right there will be part of her arm, and the gun / hand will be settled into there. There we go. Now E2, the head. She is looking ever so slightly to her right. Okay. Base time. Operative number 2 is done. We're going to call this one Jane. Sure. Okay. Hardest part was the legs, honestly, just kind of fit weirdly in there, and the arms were also just slightly awkward. The small connection points mostly is the issue, but not really a big issue. Let's look at the whole box now. The Dirty Works box is done. We have 1 Corvis Rook and 2 Operatives. And boy, was it easy. 17 bits total, real simple. Hardest parts was really just the second Operative and the thin connections, or kind of how awkward the legs went in. But that's about it. 1 out of 5 on the difficulty scale. But anyways, still could be helpful, so I'm going to do every box I can. But I have been your foreman, Douglas Scoundrels, helping you build a better Malifaux. Have a good night.